So predicting how the 2025 season would go. Should be pretty easy, right? So today I'll be going through my ladder predictions for 2025 from 18th all the way up to 1st. I'll go through my grand final predictions, Brownlow, Coleman Medal, even the Rising Star. Thanks to Squiggle, I was able to do my own ladder prediction. Now, I struggle to get 9 most weeks, so getting 207 games right in this whole season, I see no flaws in that logic. At 18th, it's Richmond. Does anyone not have the Tigers sitting last this year? They only won 2 games last year, and then they've lost 3 of their best 5 players over the off-season. It's going to be a rough season. Sorry, Tigers fans. And yeah, let's move on. At 17th is West Coast. They're definitely heading in the right direction after a few really lean years, but Tom Barras is a really huge hole to cover, especially when the ball is going to be down that defence a lot this year. I know this is going to be wrong, but I'm putting the Saints at 16th anyway. They just don't really seem to be going anywhere, and the shine of Ross Lyon has definitely lost its polish. Their young core is really promising, but they're still going to be a couple of years off from making a real run at the finals. But yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a nothing year for the Saints for me. At 15th, I have North Melbourne. It's not going to be a huge rise up the ladder, but this team needs to start showing something. They have a young starting midfield, one of the best key forwards in the game. And does Clarko still have a bit of magic left in him? I guess we'll find out. At 14th, it's Essendon. This isn't really a case if I think the Bombers will be bad. I just don't think they'll be better than the teams that are above them. They didn't change too much over the off-season except for essentially trying out Stringer to get in Kako, which over the long term is definitely going to be the right decision. But some of the younger players like Hobbs and Perkins, they need to step up this year too. At 13th, the Bulldogs. It's really quite difficult to predict where the Bulldogs are going to finish between 5th and 13th like they usually do. But I'm sort of predicting that this year really goes off the rails for them. I know he only just got back to training now, but does Jamara play much this year? It could be a really slow start for the Dogs this year, and I don't think they can dig their way out of it. And it could be the end of the road for Bevo. In 12th, I have the Melbourne Demons. Last year, could it really get any worse for the Demons? As most Melbourne fans will tell you, yes, it definitely can. The Demons should be better this year, but they haven't really done anything to fix their forward problems still, and it's been ongoing for the last few years now. And they'll still be heavily relying on Dawn, Petrarca, Oliver to drag them over the line in games. But at least they might be distracted by Pickett's future contracts, because we all know he is 100% Dawn. At 11th, I have Gold Coast. Every season, I think this will be it. This is going to be the year that they finally deliver on all that potential, only to be let down by Bat June. But, if I'm being honest, if it's not this year, then when? They have everything they need to actually make finals. I just can't put them in my 8, and I hope I've just reverse jinxed myself. Yeah, this is going to piss some people off. At 10th, I have Carlton. I've run through a lot of ladder predictions over the summer, and slowly but surely, Carlton have just finished lower and lower. I'm just not sold on them. They're rarely consistent between quarters, let alone games or weeks of footy. Their best is good, it's quite hard to beat, but it's just a question of, can they bring it hard enough for long enough? No, I don't think they can. At 9th, Port Adelaide. Great midfield, one of the best trios in the game. Not a lot else though. The forward line is a bit dysfunctional, and defence has got its own problems, and that's before they had to fill the Dan Houston-sized hole that's just left. It's Ken's last year, which means the pressure's sort of off him this year, and generally speaking, the Power haven't actually done too well when no one's tooling through his head every week. I'm sure they'll prove me wrong though and finish top 2 again and lose in the prelim. That is the Port way. Now for the top 8. And just scraping in, I have Collingwood. Was last year a hangover, or was it a taste of things to come? I actually think it's the latter, but they made some pretty great moves in getting Houston, Perriman and Membry. Now, I wouldn't say individually that any of those would be able to save the Pies, but collectively they should be able to make the Pies a little bit better from the 9th place last year. At 7th, I've got Adelaide. Hugely underperformed last year, but they did have one of the toughest draws, so it should be a little bit nicer this time around. Riley Thilthorpe looks set to tear the competition apart, both metaphorically and literally. He's not my top 1 pick, but I think we'll go close. If the Crows can fix their connection between the midfield and the forward line, they could be the ones to watch out for this season. Coming in at 6, Sydney. The Swans. Coming off another big grand final loss. And Horst had enough after one day of pre-season training and he's gone as well. Naturally, most teams who suffer a loss like that don't go so well the next year, but Dean Cost could provide a fresh perspective, like playing well in September. And just missing out on the top 4 at 5th is Fremantle. The Dockers are all over the place in predictions. I've seen them from top 2 to barely being above the bottom 4. I think they'll be tough to beat, especially in Perth. I've got them 5th right now, but I could easily see them getting into the top 4. They really do seem to have everything they need to make a real run at winning a premiership. They're first. And now for the top 4. And that 4th is Hawthorn. A popular take is that the Hawks are just going to miss the finals altogether. And there is a world where that could happen. But it's not this one. I'm all aboard the Hawks this season. They really took care of the defence, getting in Barras and Battle, which freed Sicily to go up forward. How they go in the finals though, I'm less confident. Coming in at 3rd, Brisbane. The Lions have been a premiership threat for the last 6 years, and after so many failed attempts, they finally broke through and won that premiership. But after so many attempts at it, is the hunger still going to be there? Can they back that up? I don't know. The last Premiers to win a final the following season was the 2019 Richmond Tigers in 2020. It's been a while. Brisbane also lost Joe Danaher, and who is the next best key forward? It's Eric Hipwood, who we now have to call a premiership player, by the way. That's concerning. So it might take the Lions a few weeks to actually sync up their forward structure, but as we all know, a slow start won't stop them. At 2nd, GWS. The Giants are ready to go, and they honestly probably should have won last year if they didn't totally fumble the bag in both finals last year. What a choke. This forward line they've assembled is something else. They've got the reigning Coleman medalist in Jesse Hogan. They've got Toby Green and Jake Stringer. There's Brent Daniels and Darcy Jones who'll do nice things as well. And Aaron Cadman should start to take the next step up. Opposition coaches are going to have some sleepless nights this year trying to figure out ways to stop that forward line. So yeah, it's a good thing that the song's pretty good because we're going to be hearing it a lot in 2025. Begrudgingly, I do have to put the Cats as the minor premier for the year. They have class all over the park, and unlike in previous years, they're not really relying on too many stars. It's a group effort from top to bottom. They were basically rebuilding on the fly last year, and they only lost to the eventual premier by 10 points in the prelim. I mean, damn, when will this team just die already? But anyway, Cats to finish the regular season on top. My grand final pick though is for the Giants to beat the Cats and win their inaugural flag. There will be a big sound from a very, very small fan base. Now for the medals. Starting off with the Brownlow. Now, I was originally going to go with Tom Green until he decided to injure his calf, and that's that. So now I'm just going to go out on a limb and go with Nick Dacos. I don't know if anyone's heard of him, but I think he should have a really good year. For the Kelvin medal, Now, before I did say that I've liked Riley Thilthorpe, and I do think he'll go close, but I think we'll have a new winner this year, and he goes by Josh Tracy, if he can stay on the park. And finally, the Rising Star, which got blown wide open when Jagger Smith went down, which is quite unfortunate. But I do really like the look of Harvey Langford, and I'm not just saying that because I drafted him in my keeper team. So that's my predictions for 2025. We'll take a look back in October and see how I went, and that is going to be rough. I'll probably only get Richmond correct, but anyway, until next time.